This episode of Talkitecture is brought to you by Rode Microphones, the official microphone of the Loudspeakers Network. Since building our studio, we teamed up with Rode because we wanted the best in microphones, and Rode offers professional broadcast quality mics. We've been using the Rode Procaster now for a few months, and the audio quality is amazing, and the Procaster is one of the best mics for podcasting. To get more information on the Rode Procaster and Rode's other microphones, go to Rode.com. That's RODE.com. Internets, what is going on with y'all right now?
Yeah,
we are back at it. It's the podcast where people are talking. Talkitecture. There's going to be a lot of talking inside this podcast. Sponsored by Jenkins and Jenkins
LLC.
And Associates LLC. Yes. Internets, as always, we are in here thanks to our super producer, executive producer, all around GOAT podcast producer. It's A King.
Yo. What's up, gentlemen and young lady?
How you feeling, King? How you feeling, King? Has spring not sprung?
Well, at the current, by the time this comes out, hopefully it'll be 75-degree weather.
Okay.
But currently at record time, we had a little couple inches of snow. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it could snow in June. And
I'm with it. If they cancel spring, if Mother Nature cancels spring in New York, I'm not mad.
It's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. You know, it's not nice. Haitian Miguel.
You.
I just did some old people stuff, Haitian Miguel. What you know about old people stuff?
What'd you say?
Tonight we also have Jenkins and Jenkins own a wine, Black Muscat.
It is.
Okay.
It's Black Muscat.
No, that's the type. The name is Hanis. You want no?
You don't pronounce the J.
Eunice.
Eunice
is Jeuness.
Eunice. Was that Eunice?
Eunice.
I don't know, but it's Black Muscat.
I bought it from a Haitian liquor store.
Okay.
A family owned. And he
What? Why, my friend? Hold on, I have one for you.
He's a little more reserved, but yeah, that.
all part of the Jenkins and Jenkins network.
I mean, we growing.
Yes. GY, how you feeling, brother?
My brother, I'm good. How are you?
All right, excellent. Have you finally seen Black Panther?
I mean, I've seen it 2-3 times. I've seen it plenty of times.
Okay.
So
I like the movie.
I did. I think that was me and Joy was the ones who didn't see it in the room.
Oh, you did see it?
I finally saw it.
Oh, good for you.
Okay.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was dope. There's a lot of double meanings.
I want to know how you saw it though. You saw it like in the back of like one of them car televisions, like SUV, like you was riding somewhere. Yeah. Someone was driving you somewhere.
No, I saw it at the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw actual movie projection of it.
I saw the actual movie in the movie theater.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And something told me to stay towards the end. Mm-hmm. And the other end.
Okay.
And I'm glad I did. It was a pretty cool movie.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I felt like...
Did you read the Black Panther comic?
I never was a comic book head. I got more into Marvel and all that stuff after they started doing the movies.
Okay.
So, over the last decade.
Like most grown men.
Yeah. But I will say this. I was a Transformer kid.
Okay.
Transformers.
Okay.
You know.
I'm going to tell you, man, comic books saved my life. Literally. Comic books one time got me out of a jam, and I was jammed up. And I sold my entire collection. And it got me out of a jam.
So they wanted that? Whoever?
You sold the collection.
I sold it for what I could get for it.
Oh, okay. You just needed the bread.
Did you used to get comic books from Numbers on 82nd Street?
Man, on 82nd and 7th Avenue, yes. Of course.
I used to steal.
Of course.
Comics with the plastic.
Of course. They're called Mylar. They're called plastic clear Mylar sleeves.
Oh.
And then you also take cardboard and acid-free back, because the deal is the acids and the emollients of our fingers ruin paper and shit, stuff like that. Blah blah blah. So anywho, yeah, I was crazy for comics, and I had stupid stuff like the first Wolverine and the first this and the first appearance of that, and several copies of them. Because as a kid, when you got your first copy, that was your reading copy. Right. And that one got ragged. But then as you deliver newspapers, you got bread, you could go buy a better copy because it was a dope book. It was the first appearance of Wolverine or something crazy like that. Yeah. And then when you got older and you started getting bread, you got an even better copy.
I feel like we need to get a female voice on quickly.
Hear it. Please. Yo, you know what's funny? I had an experience with Dallas at the comic book store a couple of years, or maybe about 2-3 years ago. You remember that?
The whole night?
Yeah, when we was all hanging, we went out to for dinner. Yourself, me,
yeah,
Combat,
sure.
Just Blaze. Shout out to Just Blaze.
Sure.
And they rejected us. We was trying to go get the. What's the name of that spot with the $2-3 shots?
Continental.
Yeah. They wouldn't let us in the venue because somebody had on phone posits or some bullshit.
The dive bar wouldn't let us in.
So you end up in a.
And then we end up walking down, Manhattan somewhere, and these fools went into a comic book store and literally bought Transformer shit, comic books.
We walked out of there with masks on.
I saw
that was all.
3 or 4 grown men.
We touched comic books. We
reliving their childhood.
Yeah.
I just felt out of place because I just.
You weren't in it.
What was your childhood like, King? I mean, you grew up in East New York, right?
Well,
playing in vacant lots.
I don't want to do all that.
With tires, playing with empty tires.
I went to private school my whole life.
Okay,
I was sheltered from. Well, at least we'll talk about that later. But yeah, for the most part, I pretty stable.
Okay.
Growing up.
All right.
Video games, family. But I just wasn't into the.
I mean, you of that era. You are of that era.
With school was so much of like a thing in my household where I had to do good, I had to read, I had to study. I didn't want to read nothing else. I was like, man, fuck that reading shit.
Now, where are your folks from? I mean, were your folks born in America or are your folks born in the Caribbean?
Nah, my dad. My dad is from the Caribbean. Okay. My mom is from here.
What country?
Barbados.
He's a flying fish.
Flying fish, cuckoo,
So you don't need the kid. You've never had a kid in your head. It's just your shit just naturally curly like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, because it was rumored there was some.
Nah, I don't have. The only thing I put in my hair is coconut oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every morning.
When I jump out the shower or whatever, I just.
That's the key too. He's been smart to right after the shower.
Not right after. You got to dry the shit off.
You saying you don't put it on when it's moist?
No, that shit's gonna be mad gooey and shit.
I mean it's better to work when it's moist.
So
y'all catching
Yo. So you get out the shower, you dry your hair.
Yeah, I pat dry it with a towel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let it breathe, put on my shit. Then by the time, I just and that's it.
You out.
And you don't gotta put much. You just gotta
So you dress when you do that or you still
because you don't want to put your shirt on.
Got it.
After, so you do that after.
So you come back in the bathroom after you dress, and then you put the coconut oil.
Yeah, just dab.
Shea moisture routine.
Not shea moisture. Don't give them no light. Nah, we don't use that.
A moisturizing protocol though.
Are we still off that?
I never used it, so I don't. Okay. Well, one time I used pink oil moisturizer, which is shea moisture, right? No. Oh, my bad.
They go come.
Well, when I was
that's like people mistaking Cristal champagne with Cristal Aguardiente. Like yo, I had Cristal.
I used to do that.
4.6. Yo, when I was in 5th grade, I put pink oil.
Oil moisturizer, old school shit. Like, shea moisture is new. Like,
I mean, so I put that shit in my hair, and I caught what you call it?
None of that shit when I went natural. Like,
patches.
Really? You caught patches on the back of your neck?
My hair was coming out.
Oh, your hair was coming out. Oh, you didn't catch some bumps look like Nestle.
I was like, damn.
Looks like Nestle Crunch. You didn't catch that Nestle Crunch.
Nah, none of that.
I hate when that happens.
It would just parts of my hair were just coming out.
Okay.
And I couldn't understand it. And I would talk to my barber, and I'm a kid. And he was like, yo, take this little tonic and don't use that shit again.
Yo, one time I got my hair fried.
Yeah.
Caribbean style.
You had jerry curl?
Nah, fried. Like first of all, who do you go to to take the Africa off your scalp. Hold on for a second. I'm sorry. Internets, I'm so disrespectful tonight. We have a fantastic guest in here that came to hang out with us. The degenerates, the miscreants, but the Talkitecture. How are you doing, Bad Dominicana? That's her social handle, Bad Dominicana. How are you? Good to have you here. Good to have you here, just hanging out with us, vibing, and thank you for coming down here in this little boy's clubhouse, to hear how we talk and how we think. But we're glad to have you because, sometimes we need help. We need someone to talk to us. Okay, we need someone to talk to us to help us understand, what we need to know. All right, good to have you here, Bad Dominicana.
Thank you.
And we're missing two counterparts.
Well, that's all right. People who even want to listen to this shit will realize that after a while. We'll work that out. That's how Talkitecture works. If you're not ready to talk, then you talk the next time you talk. We gonna hear you talk.
Not ready for talking.
So, Mrs. Bad Dominicana, I apologize.
Mrs. Or Ms. Let's go with Ms.
I'm sorry. You know what? Is there
Madam?
a name?
That sounds a little severe.
Is there a name we could share with you here in this space, or do you prefer Bad Dominicana?
Oh no, you can call me Zahira, Zahira.
Zahira. I like Zahira. Zahira, Zahira really is black, even more than Zahira. I'm gonna tell you why Zahira, because Zahira, the way it comes off your mouth, is saving that. It's like breaking down the consonants to make it more smoother. You see, if you said Zahira, you had to go 3. You had to go. Africa be like Zahira.
Zahira.
But when you came to the Caribbean, they smoothed it out and they said Zahira. Zahira.
We're just a tad bit lazy about language, but listen, we get to the point.
I mean, listen. You took the shortest distance between 2 points. Mm-hmm. You got there.
Where do you live, Saida?
Right now, I'm in Jersey.
Where are you from originally?
The Bronx and Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic.
How long have you been here?
Here?
In the States?
Here, as in the States? Oh, I was born in Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah. Grew up in the Bronx. Spent like half of my childhood, all of my teen years in the Dominican Republic. And then came back over here when I was like 19.
Well, you escaped. You escaped New York.
I did.
Yeah, I think that's
perspective, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, the Bronx is really kind of insulating when you're Dominican. At least the area I was from, everybody was Dominican. Like, I would go to school and like the whole classroom would be like 32 Dominican kids. Like the teacher was Dominican too. Like it was just like.
Well, that's dope.
But at the same time, you don't have to get out of that comfort zone. You don't got to question anything. When I came back to the States, I came to Massachusetts, where it was like no Dominicans. It's mostly Puerto Ricans and mostly white Puerto Ricans. And that's when I started to kind of like get my bearings as far as like identity, because then it was like.
Or you saying there was a schism between the.
It was shit like, I would get on the bus and they would start talking anti-black shit about me to my face in Spanish, swearing to God that I don't understand. When Spanish is actually my first language and I speak it better than they do. But like that's when it was like, that's when the glow started to come off really. But that's when I was like, you know what, fuck y'all, like, honestly. Because it's like, when you're among Dominicans, it's normal to be black, so it's not that whatever. If you speak Spanish, nobody's really pressing you about it.
Yeah.
But once you get out of that, and you're dealing with other Latin Americans, it's just like.
Can I ask you a question?
All these black women look at blah, blah, blah. And like, this is what they're saying in Spanish. And it's just like, I understand every word you're saying because like, I speak it better than you do.
And you said their heritage or their ethnicity was from the island of Puerto Rico.
Right.
Now, is the Puerto Rican, is the Dominican, is the Cuban, are these different ethnic groups, or do they all have one?
I mean, they're different nationalities.
They're different nationalities, one ethnic group.
Culturally, I mean, they're different ethnicities. Culturally, I mean, we're similar, like people in the Caribbean or whatever, but It's not the same. It's not totally the same.
Right, right. I
I
guess
guess their
then
particular history and quirks and whatever.
Sure. Give it the Arab nuance. Give it the white people nuance. We're all the same except we're different. Who created Mofongo?
Mofongo is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Magu is Dominican.
Okay. All right. Listen, internets, I believe you can trust everything Bad Dominicana says tonight on the microphone. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
We talked about this off mic, but I have this issue with the categorization that people like to use. Say, I'm brown. Like, what does that mean when someone says they're brown?
What's your problem with it specifically?
Well, brown, as beautiful as brown is, what about beige? Why not be beige? Why not be banana cream? Why not be every infinite shade of that? Why not be black? Why not be black? Why be brown? Why not be black? Is there something wrong with black? Is that a bullet to run from?
Why be a color, though?
Right. Anti-blackness is global, so a lot of people gonna be like, yeah, there's something wrong with that, and I don't want to be that.
Identify as
brown.
Say again?
I think many Mexicans identify themselves as brown.
Yeah. A lot of non-black people of color call themselves brown or whatever.
Right.
As like a unifying thing, but
I'm not this, but I'm definitely not with them
anti-black.
niggas. Right. I got my own team.
Yeah, everyone has their own team.
Well, I got my own team.
So, in context, is it they don't want to be referenced as black?
Well,
they want to be whatever else other than that.
It's not necessarily that, because a lot of times they're not black.
Exactly.
They're not black. It's just that when they scream brown pride, they're still anti-black. That's all. Latin Americans are real big on brown pride, but they don't mean black Latinos. They mean non-black Latinos. And they're going to include those white Latinos in there, in the brown pride, and be all rah-rah or whatever. But if a black Latino shows up, it's like, we didn't mean you. That's not what they mean by
Damn.
So it's
can't
just
even,
like,
can't even hang out with them, because I'm sure their pride parade is crazy.
Their pride parade?
Their pride parade.
You said they was having a pride parade.
They be having their whatever pride, whatever the fucks, they keep calling themselves the cosmic race or whatever. But somehow that always ends up anti-black. They're real special about that.
How would you distinguish the two? Because I've been seeing that a lot more on the internet, and I've been seeing some of the divisiveness. Like, where did that start? Do you feel, and is there really a difference?
Where did what start exactly?
Because you said the more Eurocentric Latina versus the more Afrocentric Latino Latinx. I want to make sure politically, well, yeah.
You a politician?
Well, I politics sometimes, but I'm not right. Not this is a.
He's from Chicago.
Okay.
He's from Chicago.
Trying to find out if he's politicking.
Y'all gotta understand. So, Zahira.
You sound like
Keep going.
Baka.
Zahira. No, I was actually. I'm still my dialects. I'm going back and forth because I was in that birthday party. We had a Black Panther birthday party.
Fake patois.
Yeah, shout out Jamila's daughter, man. It was super lit. But
dope.
I want to know this because I see clapbacks. I follow you. I met you through A King. You came to the Combat Jack,
Tribute party.
The tribute party. We had a good time, and I remember I was like, man, she's a deep sister. But going through your page, I would always see the comments, and I would see a lot of back and forth and a lot of rhetoric, right? So I see you oftentimes speaking on the differences. So I just want to kind of open the floor for you to talk about some of these differences and why is it such a contentious issue, you feel like, amongst Latinos and this anti-blackness that we've been speaking about?
That's just started pre-1492, to be honest.
PreCode Colonization.
The slaves that were brought to my island, by the way, we got the first slave shipments on our island, basically. But those slave shipments that came, they were from Portugal. And those slaves have been slaves in Portugal for hundreds of years already. for like generations. So,
Well,
like, this is pre
they were
1492.
indentured servants.
No, they were slaves.
They were Africans?
They were slaves. They were black and they were slaves. Yes, African slavery was not invented when it came to the Americas. It was invented like by Arabs and Europeans, like the Portuguese and shit like that. And
the
like
Dutch,
after
and the
the
Dutch got into
Portuguese
it.
like established their slave culture, they would bring over slaves from Portugal to the island to establish said slave culture, so they could teach the other slaves how to act, basically. So yeah, we talking about like way back then. Like if you look at say, there's like actual race charts from Mexico, for example. Like it'd be like 32 categories. At the top is like the whitest Latinos, and at the bottom is like the blackest ones. And you know, it all goes up to like it's about admixture basically.
Yeah.
The more European you have, the better. The higher you were in the hierarchy, and the more black you had, the lower you were in the hierarchy. Basically, you know, the next spot up after black was like indigenous, which is still like indigenous people are still shat on all over Latin America. They're still. Like the state still commits genocide. The state is still doing land grabs.
Yes.
Like, so like this is a shit that's been like from way back then, and like it continues. And there's just like a fake ass colorblindness to being Latin American. Because it's not colorblind. They're still telling you all the time to like fix your race by marrying somebody whiter. They're still bringing in whiter people from other countries to whiten the population. I mean, now in Brazil, like, it's like the tech form of that, which is like they're importing sperm from the United States because they want white blonde babies. And they can't get that DNA in Brazil because it's majority black. So they're importing the whiteness. You see, like to continue the whatever. So it's just like you turn on Latin American television. If you guys have ever turned on Univision or Telemundo or anything?
I'm glad you said that. I want to interrupt real quick.
What, Sábado Gigante?
No. I was flipping through the channel and I was watching, I believe it was Univision, right? And they had this show called Familia Perfecto. I don't know. It's like it's something about family, perfect family.
Yo, we
right?
speak Spanish like Michael Bloomberg. Perfecto. Do you need law?
Yo,
Abogados. Jenkins, y asociado.
Yo, so the crowd, it was like some live audience crowd type of thing, and they had a host, and all these people, there was no brown, black, nobody, bro. To me, straight hair, no curly, no nothing, no naps, nothing. It just straight blonde.
That's Latin American media for you.
Yo,
Wait.
When we take A King's hat off, I feel like A King could be our secret. Yo, he's always been a Blaxican. He could be a Blaxican. Yeah.
That's like a running thing and say I'm Blaxican because weirdos. I swear.
I was laughing about that the other day. I was like talking about Bruno Mars' hair is like, kinky curly, and we're like, that dude's hair is kinkier than yours.
And that's a good point.
Like,
she's making reference to the whole appropriation, the Bruno Mars argument that went on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's complicated, so whatever. But the point is, Latin Americans, like, all the shit that they like to claim as their culture is very black Latino. But, like, if you look at their media and you look at how they act, we don't exist to them, and if we do, we ain't shit, basically. So
they're just taking
like
the Black Latino swag
thing, like,
and just washing it.
People don't like to talk about it. Like, we talk about like appropriation of like black shit everywhere else, but it's like non-black Latinos appropriate all Afro-Latino shit all the time. All these dances, all these genres, everything is black. But like the people fronting the music, they're not gonna be black. That's not who gets paid to make Afro-Latino music. You know what I'm saying? You look at the popular reggaeton artists now, they're all white and they're not even Caribbean.
Wait, from Canada?
Yeah.
Like Drake?
They're like fucking, they're like from Latin America, but not from the Caribbean.
Okay.
And they're like white.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
I never
they're
forget.
like, like white Colombians or whatever the fuck.
Right, Colombians or Mexicans. Mexicans have a huge like Castilian population. I remember I went to Mexico, and like all the Mexicans that we have up here, they just be sending us like the Incas. They keep all the tall 6-foot Mexicans. They keep all the tall Mexicans. in Mexico. They just sent us the motherfucking Incas.
Oh my God. But no, the majority of Mexico is very indigenous. Like, where were you at? Were you like in Mexico City or something?
Oh, I didn't get to the city. I was just in Cancun.
You were in
Jesus Christ.
You was in
No.
even Mexico.
Wait,
No, I went outside. I went to Chichen Itza. I went to Chichen Itza. I climbed up.
Bruh, I think if you had went further inland, you wouldn't be doing this podcast right now.
Right.
I think you would be still in Mexico.
Nah. I came back. No, I went into the town, bro. I went into the town square, bro. Went to the cash.
You by yourself?
Man, by myself.
You know, I find that in my experience, that weird racial thing that I notice in a lot of my friends, that typically Dominican, where it's really strong, and Cubans in Miami specifically. Like, there's like a weird thing that goes on there. Panamanians not so much.
No.
But
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think
Dominicans
it's
got
Trujillo.
mad issues about anti-blackness, and it's not even Trujillo. I mean, let's be real. Slavery happened before him.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-blackness was already there. He just, like, leveled it up, you know? And, like, you know, he also was supported by the United States and all these other European countries. They were funding him.
Right.
And it's such is the case that they had him, like, they literally ordered for him to find the rare white Dominican women that he could find, because white women are rare in the Dominican Republic. I don't care what nobody says. But he gathered up, like, the 5 that he could find or whatever, and made, like, these booklets that were, like, for tourism to basically attract investors. And it's like the United States and Europe told him to do that shit.
Yeah.
And they supported that. They supported all the anti-Haitianism. They supported all the anti-blackness. The only time they actually stepped in and was like, all right, this is enough is, you know when? He paid off all the foreign debt. So the Dominican peso, this tiny-ass island, the peso was on par with the U.S. dollar.
Oh.
That's when they was like, oh, okay, we got to get this nigga with the
So then they killed him, right?
we
They
gotta get him
assassinated him,
out of
right?
here. So they killed him. But that was
Okay.
the only point where they were like, okay, this is bad.
I was gonna say,
Because
wait a
up
minute,
until
hold on for a
then,
second,
They
hold on for a
was
second.
funding all this fucking genocide of black people and all that anti-blackness because they wanted the island to seem less black so that their investors and their white money could come in.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, you know?
I'm forever fascinated by that. Like, specifically Dominicans.
It continues. It's like Dominicans are anti-black, and then, like, I swear the foreign powers, they be acting like they don't like it, but they support it. Because, like, for example, I grew up in Puerto Plata. That's not very far from the Haitian border in the North Coast.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Help me center myself. So Santo Domingo is the capital of DR.
Yeah, but that's, like, all the way down, like, in the east, like, towards, like, the southeast.
Southeast, okay.
I'm from, like, the North Coast, like, you know, like, towards the west, close to Haiti, basically.
Okay.
So the normal thing back then, now it happens a little bit less, and I'll tell you why, was trucks would come in from Haiti every day at 6 a.m. Just a bunch of Haitian people would come in. And then at 6 p.m., they would all go back to Haiti. They would come into work, and then they would go back home. And that was fine. Nobody actually gave a fuck. Dominicans were too lazy to police the border. Now,
But they were also coming in at a lower rate than possibly the local people too.
They don't want to do that work. They're like the Mexicans of.
Right.
yeah,
I'm saying.
Haitians have built the Dominican Republic. All the fucking structures that you see,
Yeah.
everybody's house, all the buildings, everything, that's built by Haitians. Because it's like cheap labor. It's like, you know,
Right.
like you were saying, like the Mexicans.
Like migrant workers, yes.
But it was like basically they were able to just go back and forth every day. It was like not a thing. And now, guess who is policing the border with helicopters? The U.S. military. So the work that the Dominicans were too fucking lazy to do, really, which was secure the border, because that's why people was going back and forth all the time. Like the U.S. military is the one doing it.
Okay.
So like, what the fuck is that right there?
So
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what does that mean for people? I mean, do the Haitians still come in at 6 and leave at 6?
That means that is limited. And it means that anti-blackness and anti-Haitianness is heightened.
Sure.
It means that basically a bunch of people have lost their livelihood and lost the opportunity to find the livelihood by crossing over to the other side.
Sure. I mean, it's
all this
economic
shit. And at the same
warfare
time,
against Haiti.
This is while the United States wags their finger telling DR that they're bad for having a border. Okay, so this is the double speak of the United States government. You're bad for having a border. However, I'm sending my helicopters to secure the border because you're not doing it well enough.
That's nice as well.
You know?
Gosh.
So it's like, you know?
So, okay. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, sure. The United States has said, okay, we're going to regulate this. So now who does the work of the previous Haitian migrant workers? Dominicans do it? Or are they importing? Are they having people come in by boat from another island?
Yeah, so
Haitians are still doing it.
With plantations, they have basically indentured servitude, right? Like they live on the plantations and they pay them on the plantations. And the Haitians, let's say you want to go buy food for your family, plantation owners have supermarkets or stores on the plantations. So the economy stays within...
Right now?
Right now, today.
But listen to how my dad grew up. My dad grew up that way. My dad was a freaking migrant farm boy. And that's what he did. He went from farm to farm. They didn't pay him. He would do all the work while, the plantation owners' kids could go to school. And he slept in the barn with the animals.
Wow.
So
this was my dad. My dad is in his 50s. I'm not talking about
right.
DK back in the day. That's slavery. That's slavery. What they're doing to Haitians, the shit that my dad was doing. That's slavery. And that's why? Because my dad was a poor black boy as well. Because that's how that shit works.
So if you have a kid on that plantation, if you're a Haitian migrant worker, that child isn't Dominican, right? That kid is clearly he's not Haitian. Try to get him a Haitian birth certificate. He's not getting one. He's not getting one in DR. So what is he? Right? That's the prime issue.
People are being left basically nationless and placeless.
So there's one kid. This interesting story. He became, he's Dominican. He was born in DR. And became an ill fucking baseball player. They're trying to get him to the States. He has no birth certificate. He can't go to Haiti to get one. He can't go to DR. And so he's stuck there.
Haiti won't give him one? Come on.
No, he's not Haitian.
Why not? Haiti could say, hey, listen, your parents, and we could say where you were born, but your citizenship will still remain Haitian.
Yeah, he wasn't born in Haiti.
Doesn't matter. Why do you have to be born somewhere to be a citizen of that place? People get to become citizens of places they weren't born.
There's just a lot of shit going on with both of the governments, to be honest. It's the Haitian government is not necessarily supporting these people that are being left.
No, of course not.
By the Dominican Republic. And then at the end of the day, the Haitian government officials and the Dominican government officials are literally on yachts together, chilling.
Yeah.
While everything goes to shit.
This is a humanitarian crisis still, right?
It is, absolutely.
But if this has been going on for, I guess, forever, I mean, there's no, who's the whistleblowers? There's nobody that's hey, draw some attention to this.
Wait a minute, you never been to Carnival?
Try to do that.
That's when the whistles is blowing. You get a carnival. You get a parade on Eastern Parkway. Blow your motherfucking whistle.
That's what I was here for with Jean Grey. I forget the name of the movie, but that's what the movie was about. It was about Haitian cane cutters in DR and the indentured servitude. And my man Cypher Sounds hosted it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see the film, but I know Tariq Nasheed put out a film called 1804.
Yeah, that was about Haiti. I'm
right.
talking about specifically Haitians in DR.
Okay.
And Cypher came and hosted it up at Mosque number 7 in Harlem. Thank you, Cypher. Peter Rosenberg was not there.
Thank God, right?
Yeah.
For the record.
Come on, man.
For the culture.
For the culture.
Well, I guess if one of the guys, these are excellent baseball players, can one of the Yankees dudes, can they come over there and scoop these guys and get them back?
Sure.
Yeah, but some of those, in my opinion, some of those baseball players you refer to, they're not cultured. They're not caring about.
Oh, maybe he got an agent to come and figure things out, but I could send you the link about it.
You're talking about helping.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think they have any interest.
They're really,
Yeah, they
on that level.
They sponsor baseball teams and keep the lights on for people to play baseball in their towns.
Obviously, it's a vested interest.
Well, I don't know if it's that. I think that's how they got out. So they figure that's a way for another young Dominican to get out. So they'll fund the team there. They'll fund lights to stay on longer. Shit like that.
Right.
King about to fuck up that charcuterie.
Oh, get that, the Clorox wipes ready. Now he's
Oh man. Okay, so I got.
Yeah.
Y'all both Mets guys?
I'm a Mets fan.
I'm a Mets fan, but I haven't watched a game in I don't know how.
I haven't watched a game in years.
The Mets are 2-1.
Okay.
White Sox
They looking strong.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out, it is what it is, man.
Okay.
Shit.
So who only white people could like the Cubs?
Yeah. America's.
That's
That's the red team.
So here's the thing with that. That's not true, because you have to realize that the Cubs, they came on WGN.
Okay.
So this is a whole this is some syndication, you can see Atlanta Braves, you can see Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
This is a lot of homes.
Mm-hmm.
They just flicking past channels. Oh, this is the only baseball team I can watch. You couldn't see the White Sox on television like that. And the White Sox had damn near all night games. Cubs had all these day games. It's the friendly confines. It's a beautiful place to go.
Right. You got the Ivy Wall and
I mean, it's something I get why people romanticize Wrigley. I mean, I've been to Wrigley Field. I have a great time over there. But I like winners. Yeah, they just won, but as a Southsider, you would go to Comiskey Park. And mind you, this one, the projects was still up. A lot of people didn't want to go to White Sox Stadium because there was nothing over there. It was nothing over there. It was... You
get to see... I mean, the White Sox never won the championship while you were there.
What do you mean?
They did with who?
I mean, I was in college, but yeah, they won in 05.
Okay, damn, I don't even remember that.
And honestly, that was one of the best runs I've seen. I mean, the White Sox had...
Bad Dominicana, were you in Massachusetts the year the Red Sox won?
I don't think that I was, but to be honest, if I was, I wouldn't have cared.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. That come right to it.
Baseball? What kind of Dominican are you?
Right. No baseball?
My dad is a baseball head, but as much as he tried, he never got the rest of us into it. Mm-hmm. And he tried. Listen.
Okay, I'm sure.
It just didn't work.
I mean, it's the Dominican birthright.
Right.
Puerto Rican too. Not so much black kids anymore. Black kids used to fucks with baseball heavy.
Well, heavy.
Yeah. Now they got basketball.
Black suburban kids, suburbia.
Not even. Black suburban kids are probably fucking around with lacrosse.
We had Jackie Robinson League on the South Side.
I have a little cousin on my father's side
doing lacrosse.
That's heavy into lacrosse.
That's what I'm saying. That's
nice.
what.
And he's the only. I think he might be one of two.
That equipment costs bread. See, that's the thing.
Race trader.
For a lot of
What?
Right, that kind of sports shit. You gotta have access to it.
Yeah.
Right.
You only need a basketball or hoop. If you want to play soccer, you want to get your football on.
Right, but lacrosse, sports like that, you have to have exposure. That's intentional.
Yeah, but like you said too,
you have to expose them to it, and
just to play the sport, you have to have equipment on. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a process.
You got to be invested already
before you even get to the field.
Yeah,
a lot of
So your dad couldn't make you guys baseball fanatics. Okay, I'm curious about the time you spent in Massachusetts, because I go there and it's a strange place to me because it feels super provincial. New York can be like that. New York, when you go far out in Brooklyn, far out in Queens to the edges, then you get into a real towny kind of feel where these people see each other all the time.
A good word.
These people see each other all the time. So you pop up all of a sudden. It's you feel like the whole place is filled with aliens. Did you ever acclimate yourself to your
Hell no.
Your Massachusetts surroundings?
There's nothing there as far as I am concerned. I don't know why anyone lives there. God bless their souls. I don't know how they do it. I was 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Boston. I was in Western Mass. It's on the edge of like Connecticut or whatever.
Okay.
But it's like, it's just an industrial wasteland in Western Mass. Like, there's nothing there. The most you get is supposedly like Northampton, but that's super white, hippie dippy, you know. They be like, you know, we mad liberal, but it's like I'm still the only black girl walking down the street and you staring at me, so I don't know how liberal that shit is. Okay.
Yeah, they're just comfortable speaking it, but they don't want it in their zone.
Right.
They don't want it on their block. Is that so? I mean, the geography, the topography, is that like you're up in the mountains? Is there skiing in the winter? Like, what the hell do people do? They just chop wood and burn it in a coal or a fire or a fireplace? I mean, what happens there? You say industrial wasteland.
What happens there? There ain't shit, for real. Nothing.
Factories are closed?
Nothing. Nothing.
Dig it.
I think all there is like
Most
maybe a
racist
gun
city?
factory.
Oh,
Boston comes up the most.
Boston is really racist. However, the last time I was there, I was actually shocked because there's so many people of color in Boston. But like, you would really think that there's not.
yeah.
By the way people act and the way people talk about it, you would think that it's mad white.
Right,
It's just
right.
like people of color are all like, you know, up in their own little corners or whatever, apparently. And you know how it is.
Yeah. Dig it.
Because
Okay.
I always have family like in Dorchester or whatever. That's where all the Dominicans lived and shit. Dorchester, like Lawrence
Yeah, I fucks heavy with Rhode Island, actually.
and shit like that. Yeah.
Rhode Island. But Massachusetts,
Never
they
been.
big. They big with it. Cape Cod, out there in Newport.
Massachusetts is too
father
cold.
was
It's the
in
Arctic. There's just,
Dominican.
I'm sorry. There's probably going to be Massachusetts people listening and they're going to be mad, but like, I don't care. Massachusetts sucks, guys.
Again. Say it again.
Massachusetts?
Yeah, I love it. Turns me on. I love that. Say it again.
In Massachusetts? There's a lot of Cape Verdeans, I feel like, in Boston.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Boston's very Cape Verdean.
Rhode Island too.
Yeah.
And I learned that, you know why? Because white men are fetishy as fuck.
Oh, snap.
Talk about it.
Snap.
And like, as soon as I would be like, oh, I'm Dominican, they would be like, oh, I had a Cape Verdean girlfriend once. And they kept saying that shit. And I was like, so you saying it's a lot of Cape Verdeans up there? Because like, they make that association, oh, exotic black.
Yeah,
You know?
I've heard that too.
It's like, I don't got shit to do with Cape Verde, but that's the association. So apparently I have to have shit to do with it. I'm
Yo,
like,
can I pull you left with this? Do you find an excessive amount of homophobia in our community?
in our community?
And when I say our community, I mean people who claim blackness.
I don't think that there's any more than there is anywhere else, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
it's bad, but I don't think that black people are more homophobic. Like, as far as
My
like
argument
our
is that
history,
black people are a fraction less than everybody. Even if it's a fraction, I would tell you that there was always a space at the table for your gay cousin,
the
for
thing
your
is, like,
kleptomaniac aunt.
the way that our history works, as
your
much as people be trying
junkie
to act
uncle.
like being gay is a
Your
thing that
junkle.
white people brought us, it's the opposite. The heteronormativity, you know, is a thing that they brought us because there were spaces for other ways of being before they got to us.
Of course.
basically.
I'm trying to tell you, there's still spaces. We still keep a space at the table. Although you might make your gay cousin sit at the little table with it, but you keep an eye on that nigga. No, man, stop it. Everybody
But,
is
like-
at the holiday dinner. Everybody. Everybody.
The way that it works more is like, you know, I have like a lot of queer friends, and the way you talk about it is like, a lot of times it's not really a coming out in like black communities and stuff, because the fact of the matter is everybody already knows. Even
Right.
if they play like they don't. So there's not really a coming out, you know?
Internets. I've been using the Rode Procaster for 6 months now, and I'll tell you what, I've never sounded as good as I do right now. And listen, I've been podcasting for 1,000 years. You know how crappy I used to sound? Now listen to me. Glorious. To get more information on the Rode Procaster and Rode's other microphones, go to Rode.com. That's RODE.com. Take your podcast to the next level with Rode, and now back to the show. I mean,
Is there ever a discussion? Like, is there ever like a a certain section of the family might be
There'll be discussions.
Like,
there don't be a group discussion.
No, not a group, but just certain people.
There will be discussions. Of course. There's always discussions.
Like the gatekeepers.
That's how families operate. But families, I'm saying, there's never exclusion. The only time there'll be an exclusion is for family violations. Violations, you have to excuse. The drug situation we went through, even an alcoholic could still, you still let them motherfucker stay on the couch.
Right, but at the same time,
you just get rid of all your alcohol.
How so many homeless kids though are homeless because they came out and somebody did not accept that shit and kicked them out of their house. Yep. Like queer, homeless, black, and kids of color in general are like a thing because basically they do get kicked out. You know, everybody doesn't get that space to just be.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
like that happens.
In the States, we're way more open, but like in Jamaica, in Haiti,
shit.
You know,
West Africa,
it's almost impossible for a queer kid.
No compassion.
Yeah, it's to fucking live life.
I don't believe that. I believe that. Okay, you maybe you mean
sponsored fucking
openly, but these are people who are already oppressed. So that it's not a function. It's a function of being able to oppress anybody. They would oppress the retard. The neighborhood retard.
No.
Neighborhood retard got brick thrown at him, rocks thrown at him. If there was no dog to kick, kid and disabled kid.
I mean, the way that oppression works is unfortunately that way. It don't matter what kind of shit you're facing.
Yeah,
you will find a way to shit on somebody else anyway.
But in this case,
you know, like, but like we're talking about like being queer or like being disabled or whatever. Like, absolutely, oppressed people find a way to oppress people over there. Cause like we be having all the problems in the world and we still find a way to shit on somebody else to feel better about ourselves. Unfortunately, it's a coping mechanism that we have learned and like it's fucked.
One of the biggest marches in Haiti, directly after the earthquake, was in regards to gay marriage here being legalized. Mm-hmm. People with your fucking house just got destroyed.
Right, but you got
marching in the street about gay marriage in another fucking country. It's not coming here, okay? So I'm marching in the streets about it after an earthquake.
I mean, not for nothing, but like I feel like that's also the issue when we try to like equate, like say, black struggle with Palestinian struggle. Because the fact of the matter is, Palestinians are going through absolute hell, right? But there's also black Palestinians, and guess what's happening to them?
Oh, that's fucked up. They're
going through hell for being black and for being Palestinian because the non-black Palestinians treat them like shit. So it's like we got to kill all the black
Palestinians. We can't have.
What I'm saying?
We can't have a black You can't be that oppressed.
Like no matter, you could be getting bombed, and you still will find time to shit on somebody you think is below you.
Black Palestinian. DJ Khaled.
Is DJ Khaled Palestinian?
Yeah.
I would say not. I don't think he claims. I don't think he claims.
Well, once upon a time,
he's not black.
No, he's Palestinian. But I think I saw an issue one time when he had the flag, and I don't know if it was in his video.
Is he black? Does he claim blackness or does he claim brown?
I don't. But regardless, he just had the flag. But after that, it was a lot of pro-Palestinian groups that were, anti-Khaled with that. They're like, all right, if you're gonna rep your talk about your family. Don't just rep the flag, but not give us context as to why. Oh, okay. Because you're not outwardly saying I'm Palestinian.
Yeah, they were shaking him down. They were shaking him down.
I got $1,000 that said you'll never see that fucking flag again.
I mean, yeah, at this point,
That's funny. I had never heard that he's Palestinian.
Because I think there will be an expectation for him to contribute in some type of way. To what's going on, and the fact that he's not acknowledging it or hasn't or whatever his reason is probably best that he just not, for his brand.
And in his private life, he could choose to fucking support it.
I'm not saying that that's okay. I'm just saying, based on the what I'm seeing. Nah, just so we clear, like his politics is politics.
I get it. He can't outwardly, he can't publicly.
Yeah, sometimes you can.
Because his expectation is like how many Palestinian popular celebrities do we know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, he's ascended past Palestinian.
Shout out to Mazi. Is Mazi from Palestine?
It makes sense that it's not usually mentioned he's from there.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
he's
like
big.
a point of contention right now,
Yeah.
which is sad because like
Like you have to tiptoe, whether you like it or not. And this is not a knock against him whatsoever.
No.
You just
yeah,
It's just the pervasiveness of supremacy. It just
is.
permeates everything.
It really does.
Is there a currency with a black face, a brown face on it that you would rather have in your hand than some currency with a white face on it?
I want
Vibranium.
all my currency to have white faces on it.
Why?
I buy more.
because you could buy more shit with it.
Well, people certainly recognize it.
Yeah, they recognize it. Asian money better. This is
Like, yeah. Like, who is this? Who is this motherfucker? Who is this motherfucker?
Where's
this nigga got my doorman on his money.
That shit goes back to how the most horrible thing to Americans was eliminating the foreign debt and making a Dominican peso on par with the U.S. dollar. That
Yeah.
was the real fucking
Yeah.
bad thing. Because can you imagine?
Yeah.
I just think it's something.
Our money not supposed to be worth what y'all's
Yeah,
is.
exactly. You want me to pay $1 for this Coke? It's the same thing I paid for this Coke in Miami. You fucking nigga. That's pretty much how it goes, right?
I just think everybody should be able to take a stance. Like I do know this. It's the first. It's not even a first world problem. It's just like we have a lot of things to lose, so you don't want to have to like speak out on how you feel. Like even if you want to wear a jersey, like I wasn't even thinking
Los
when I was
Jets.
wearing a jersey.
Los Jets.
And it was a political statement.
The judge was wearing.
That's not even a first world problem. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, we come from repressive countries
Yeah.
where that's normal. You not being able to speak about what you actually think because it's gonna harm your whole fucking life. That's normal.
But
Like
I
it happens
guess,
here too. That's all.
But I guess like
You know?
with out
What
here-
jersey were you wearing?
What it was a pro Jerusalem jersey. You know, and it was like I know.
Where'd you get that?
Come on.
It was
Let's bring it home. Bring it home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was a bit of naivety involved with it. 'Cause it was a brand new type of like.
Where you copped it from?
What was it? A basketball jersey, baseball jersey, football jersey?
It was like
Cricket?
soccer. It was like a football
Rugby.
sweatshirt jersey.
Okay.
It looked brand new. You ever went to the thrift store and you found like brand new stuff?
You still got it?
Yeah.
I still got it. And
You should wear it when we were taping it.
It was the Israeli team?
I would have to get a pro Palestinian one too.
Rock.
Cause guess what?
It was the Israeli team?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
And you know what? I was out one day randomly in Williamsburg, and it was all of these guys coming up. They was like, "Yo, they was coming up to me like, and I had to think about it. I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I guess." I just like the colorway.
Oh, shit, man. You should have told me yes, man. I'm fucking Jesus. Look at me.
What
I
were
could have
they
just
saying?
lifted my hat and they would have saw it was Jesus with
Yeah.
this hair. Whoop.
Tell him.
You know.
What were they saying?
They was just really just like they were edifying. Like, what do you know about this jersey? How do you know? And I was just honest. I was like, man, I got this from a thrift store, bro. It fits
should
me.
have
I
told
wear
him.
large. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, like. I don't like what's going on in Palestine, so it's like I didn't want it to be a statement. And I put it on the gram, it got all these likes. And one of my frat brothers was like, "Hey man, you should take that down." And like I thought about it, I was like, "Dang, you know what? Somebody is out here offended that I'm wearing this, and that's a great point." And then I read little homie, shout out Vic Mess. He wrote a Time article, a pro-Palestinian op-ed column, and it makes a whole bunch of sense. And it's like people don't know what's going on over there, so it's easy to just like to be like blind, and like we're blind to a lot of things. Like people blind to what's going on in Haiti, people blind to what's going on in DR, people was blind to what's going on in Uganda. There's so many places.
I'm blind to what's going on in Flint, Michigan.
There you go.
Did they get their water right?
Nope.
Internet. Have they gotten their water right?
Nope.
Because well, guess what? Flint ain't get their water right. Guess what? Puerto Rico, y'all not getting your water right. Cause y'all not even connected to the whole shit. At least Flint is somehow connected to the whole thing. You know, they can always say, "Oh, Puerto Rico, you your own sovereign island now," or whatever. I know they're protectorate, but anywho,
Not sovereign at
What?
all. Puerto Rico's a colony, unfortunately. That's the hard truth of it. They're not allowed to rule over themselves, and that's why they're in the situation that they're in.
As we unravel all this crazy shit, right?
it's racial
It
unrest.
just shows you how much of a stronghold the colonists have on the planet, bro.
Hey,
if you
listen.
go to Australia, it's the same narrative with the Aboriginal people. It's
Rightfully
always about
so.
the indigenous people of the land. It's always being the one that's
Rightfully so. Do you have any drones? Remember, the only black person I know that has drones might be Jadakiss.
So my thing is this.
Because he said we got the shit the government got.
So look, so am I weird to think that our saving grace is this is not no spooky shit. It is, but it's not. If you really, you always see in the news about these sightings, about the UFOs and all this stuff, and secrets. And I have this theory that that's the only motherfuckers that can save us is aliens.
Like, here's the crazy
it's
shit.
Just the military testing out aircrafts to be fucking
shit.
honest.
Yeah, they're trying to balance because let me tell you something about the aliens.
I think if they looked, one came down here right now, and they looked at you in your eye.
They've been here getting us fat because they're gonna harvest us like shrimp.
Damn, they gonna eat us?
That's
I
like
saw that Simpsons episode.
like the shrimp we eat, bro. Just like that.
You eat shrimp?
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna be.
We're gonna be harvested to be. Listen, we're just a biological
So
speculation.
who helps us?
No one's gonna help us.
No one. We gotta help us.
But we've been saying that shit for
But many of us
since
have.
1492,
Nah. We still saying it.
1804.
That's what it is, man.
We still saying it. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
Right.
I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Aliens on Independence Day. I say, damn,
This is the thing, man.
it's some bullshit.
Number one, I think this is a fucking hologram, right? I think this is a play thing.
So there's a parallel.
Yeah, they're just watching this happen. It's like a game to them, right? There are beings.
To,
I mean, I
okay.
definitely have moments when I look at fucking living and I'm just like, how the fuck is this shit even real, yo?
Yeah.
None of
The
it.
shit that's around us that we built, that has happened, that we've done, I'm just like,
Of course.
this is fucking unreal.
If someone said to you, yo, let's get into an aluminum can.
This is dope. We're
Let's throw it in the air with jet fuel. Let's come down somewhere. All right, intact.
So you think there's underworlds like?
I'm not high enough to talk about
This is real. This is real
existentialism.
Talkitecture.
listen, man,
Okay.
this is for sure. Fucking
Right.
Elon Musk is talking about it. If Elon Musk believes that we're in a hologram, we're in a fucking hologram.
Can we get much higher?
Elon Musk.
But yeah, who gives a fuck? But listen, this is the thing.
Is
bro.
Elon Musk that problematic white man?
Yeah, he's very problematic.
What with that? Which one?
They all problematic white men.
I was talking about Elon
That's a
Musk.
bad descriptor.
Yeah.
Maybe out here hunting.
You know
Who's
which
coming to
one?
save us, bro?
I think a Tesla just like one of those self-driving Teslas. They crashed.
Couple of them.
Yeah, so what?
But you gotta look at. I look at that from a perspective of any new technology is going to be a liability in the beginning because you need. Think about all the people who flew planes for the first time and it crashed. Somebody had to be sacrificed. They had to sacrifice that.
Oh, me no.
Just like they got the new traveling spaceship that is going to be available to the public if you got the bread, where you could travel to.
Yeah. Mars.
To Mars and back. Is that shit's gonna blow up the first 2 times before they get it right because they don't know.
No, they can't blow it the first 2 times, but it might have issues. But yeah, of course there'll be a
But
What do
they're
you mean
gonna be
issues?
extra
You ain't-
careful about
there's no
that
issues,
though,
bro.
because it's the rich
What-
white people
it's
who
not
are
like,
traveling on that.
Yeah, that's
They're not
true.
gonna be
I
careless.
said, let them test that out first and tell us how.
They can't be like, oh yo, we got a little. Let's park over a little bit and fix it. That's
right.
lost communication.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And they
That's
got
it.
the little spacecraft that's coming down too. Y'all heard about that one? It's like I guess like they were like, I don't know, was it China?
Yeah, China satellite coming down.
Yeah, but they lost track of the satellite, so they don't know. It's like this 19,000 pound space shuttle that's coming somewhere on Earth.
Yeah,
And
They don't know where.
It might hit us in the U.S.
yeah.
Like they like, oh, it's a chance. It's like, the chance of you getting hit by this space shuttle is like the chance of you getting struck by lightning. But people do get struck by lightning too sometimes. So be safe.
Damn,
Be
you might
safe,
look
though.
up.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
I almost
Noah's
got
Ark.
struck by lightning one shit.
That's why you gotta live in the moment. Enjoy now. Yo,
Right.
Like I was running across a parking lot and it was raining and I swear to God I jumped and that shit hit right behind me. I'm like,
Did you have all these luxurious crystals on your hand?
What are
No.
those crystals? Do you have powers?
She definitely.
Do I have powers?
Break it down, sister. Break them down. I'm ready.
We are a little witchy. Are
Yeah.
we not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's in the blood.
So do they do different things? Like, what's that first one right
Keep
there?
fucking with her. You'll
This one?
find out.
Pyrite?
Okay, yeah.
Pyrite is like for manifesting stuff,
Okay.
which that's good.
Right. That is very good. You got to
Quartz just kind of like heightens what the other ones do.
Okay.
This is rose quartz. That's like thinking for calming or whatever. Like, yeah, right. Citrine, that's supposed to attract like money.
Oh.
I'm waiting on that.
Is there
Brother Chris,
Y'all back
you're
in-
gonna take
is
a
that like is that like a combination?
It's gaining interest.
No, but
But I'm not supposed to touch it either, Ken.
I didn't touch it.
You know, she might.
Chris is gonna take a picture of this and it's
Amethyst or
gonna be in the
whatever.
show notes.
The same girl who made me these is making me like 5 more. I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but like
Can I get a chain?
I'm pretty sure she makes chains.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Yep. I'm gonna stack them. I don't care.
Chakras aligned, everything popping. There we go.
Does she make them in the back of a botanica?
Nah, she don't. But I know that she like clears them and all that other shit. Oh, that's because I think that she's not Caribbean.
What is she?
But like, I think she's like Black American.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
So
Maybe
them
from
shits don't
somewhere
work.
else. But like, you know, we do fucks with botanicas. If she was like Caribbean, she probably would be making them.
Right. So those shits don't work.
You know, the way I grew up like Pentecostal. So like botanica, like we would cross the street to not walk by them because the devil is in that bitch.
I go in there
Now I'm not scared of them no more.
I
I'm
go buy
like, that's Afro
candles.
spirituality. That's what's
Hell
up.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I grew up like, they taught me to be scared.
Is that
I'm
the
gonna tell you
original
something.
spot where the
There's
money
people
spray
out there,
came from?
Real quick, that don't like me, right? We all know that, and I'm actually kind of proud of it. Every year I go to Florida and I talk to a lady in Little Haiti, and she hooks me up. That's why I'm still around, nigga. Nigga, and I'm doing better than you, nigga. All right, we can get back.
Yeah, I
And I
have
go
a
to Haiti
spiritual
too,
advisor
nigga.
as well.
Yo, you
And I don't. Let me tell you something.
You sound you just came out the Jenkins and Jenkins office.
One thing I do. One thing I don't do. I never speak anyone's name when I go see her. I never put anything on anybody's name. Right? I strictly. This is a rule of mine. It's about me, empowerment for me and my family. It's not, and it's prayer, and it's. I feel light when I leave there. Right? It's not about putting harm on other people.
You practice Santeria?
I don't practice anything. I just, it's part of our culture, right?
Right,
It's just
exactly.
something that-
No, I'm saying I'm learning. That's what I'm asking.
And like I said, man, I feel super light when I leave there, and it's weird because like I just said what I said, but like there is a negative energy out there, right? And I leave free from that. At least I feel like I do. But,
I mean, because you have to internalize it till you get these things, and they come into your
People
body.
be trying to put stuff on
100
And you know,
I believe
you know from
it.
where we from,
I
people try it all the
believe
time.
I believe it. 'Cause
Literally,
the
they be
woman
trying to
tells
put
me.
stuff
Yeah.
on you.
This woman tells me all the time. She goes, "There's, there are people putting energy on you." Now, are they going to a woman to put stuff on me? I don't know, but is there energy headed my way?
They be trying.
100%. 100%. All of us here.
So you think it's something that we all should take a look into?
I think you should, but it's up to you.
My dad used to have like, I don't know why he had, but I remember one time I was like in a closet and I opened up the closet and I was like, man, it was like a voodoo doll in there. And I was like, it really freaked me out, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was a bad one. And it's so,
How'd you know? How do you know if it's
what a voodoo doll is? What you?
No.
That it was
You know
good or
if it's
bad?
Bad or good? Did it tell you?
Well, I mean, the doll didn't tell me. I didn't pick it up. I didn't touch the motherfucker. It was just like, but like I had a conversation. That
Chucky.
was something that they talk about. Like you have like, there's like how you have like good witches, bad witches,
Right.
and different things. Like there's good intentions along with that. And just, I guess that people, like you said, you're not going into these places
With
trying to
any bad
actively
intent
have, yeah,
whatsoever.
You know, so I mean, as long as
That stigma is
Yeah.
also movies, and it's interesting to create these, movies about zombies and shit to scare kids and all that shit. But like
Zombies
it's
are a Haitian concept. That's another appropriated thing.
it's a beautiful religion and it's based on our roots, African culture. They took it with them to this country, right? This is what we're from.
It's special. It matters. Like they really tried to beat that out of us and forbid it and all kinds of shit, and we kept it anyway.
And
we was like, oh well.
Try to scare it out of you.
For real.
Attach all kinds of weird things to it, but it's beautiful and it has a wonderful, rich history. So yeah, go fuck yourself.
What? Who said that?
I'm just trying to lighten it up, baby.
No. We lighten here. We lighten here. Internets, you are listening to Talkitecture with our special guest tonight, Bad Dominicana.
Bad
_.
Okay, let's be clear on that.
So
you eventually become.
As a bad, but you are especially bad.
When Tad talking shit though, she bad.
Oh, I didn't.
In Espanol.
Let me find out, yo. Like that? You did like that, yo? I'm bad. I see you.
But I named myself bad, honestly. It wasn't even in like the good sense of the word. I meant like bad, like not good. Mm-hmm. That was because I started getting like hate mail from Dominicans.
Why?
You're an embarrassment to us.
To our culture.
You're making us look bad in front of the white people. Why you gotta talk like you're Al Sharpton?
Shit.
What's up with all this black stuff? How come you support homosexuality? You support nudity? I don't want to be associated with that. I was like, okay, so I'm a bad Dominican then. Oh well.
What's my man's name, the writer?
Something of the thing. Junio.
It's my man. He talks that good shit too. That.
Because Dominican nationalism. If you're pro-black, thinking you're not Dominican. I'm like, oh well, then I guess I'm not Dominican. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Damn, that's.
I mean, but that's where you go to get the Africa off your scalp.
Do you face challenges within your family with that whole?
Absolutely. Like people on the internet get what I'm about, but my family doesn't.
But do they see it? I mean, are they aware?
They don't see the most of it, and like they are aware of it, and they're just like, they don't get it.
She's crazy, whatever.
Yeah, basically, I'm like the crazy bitch in the family. And like we definitely had our back and forths about.
But do you have a space at the table?
They've come around though. Eventually.
Do you have a space at the table for holidays? Do you get disinvited to any holiday dinners?
Nah, not really.
All right, that's what I mean then. That's what I mean.
How do you feel when guys? Because that's a big thing. Dominican girls, like, I'm one of them. I'm not gonna sit here fucking lie.
You're one of them. What?
I'm not a Dominican woman. But I am one of those. I don't fetishize Dominican women, but I do appreciate Dominican women. I think.
Okay.
Is there a sensibility about a Dominican woman, even Afro Latina Dominican woman, than an Afro Latina Haitian woman? Please.
I grew up, as Dallas knows, around a lot of Dominican women. A lot of Dominicans, period. So I dated what was around me, and the Dominican girls were way hot. But going to Haiti and meeting beautiful, delectable, sensual Haitian women, yeah, I like them too. But yeah, Dominican women, because here it's like, oh my God, dude.
There's a lot of fetishism to it. It's
not for me though.
Gross.
Chill.
Well, I'm not talking about you.
No, for him.
For me, having to navigate that, like there's weird fucking expectations. When I'm at the airport waiting to get on the plane to Dominican Republic, it begins.
Like
because basically men go there specifically for fetishy sex.
100%.
Wow.
So when I'm waiting to get on the plane, those dudes are already eyeing you, trying to find their target and their prey,
That early?
Yes, like before they even arrive, they're already like, you look like you're a Dominican woman. What can I get here?
Yeah, but
they're like calculating.
You don't have enough money Still in the States, you still at JFK, my nigga.
It's just like, yeah, it's kind of gross. The weird expectations.
I don't have any
like
weird
about these Dominican women. Like, what do you know about us?
Now, is it
Either that or it'll be like, well, I want a Dominican woman because that way she'll be a free maid for me, unlike these other bitches over here who not gonna be a free maid for me. And I'm just like, I'm not flattered, yo. I'm not flattered.
Maid.
Do y'all want to be free maids? I mean, I'm pretty sure you don't. I don't either, but that's like the Dominican woman expectation.
For me, I think what attracted me more than anything was the family connection that I found within the Dominican culture in New York, right? Super close-knit, people in the same building all fucking eating together. Like, that's what attracted me.
We're very, very super hyper community oriented.
And family, like
it is.
Cousins,
it's
fucking flying
right.
in for
It's
Christmas.
just like third cousins, fourth cousins.
Yeah.
That may as well be your brother.
Yeah.
Like we don't really differentiate like that. Right. But at the same time, that's a double-edged sword. Dominicans don't know how to mind their fucking business. That's the other side to that kind of close-knitness. You just forever trying to run other people's life. Like at some point, like that shit gets annoying. And it's like I'm almost relieved to not be around Dominicans right now.
Where were
because
you?
They not minding my business.
Where were you in the cosmology of your family? Were you the eldest, the youngest?
I was the oldest.
You were the
of
eldest.
The siblings, yeah.
Okay.
And the only girl.
Okay.
That has its own fucking,
Especially the Dominican boys.
Dominican households. It's like I was lucky because my mother wasn't like that. But there were still elements of like me being treated different because I was the girl or whatever. But like the way all my friends and my family was raised is like Dominican girls are little maids. By 11 years old, they're doing all the housework, all the cooking. They got to do all their brother's laundry, all whatever, because you're preparing to be a wife. Yeah. And boys basically just sit around.
Yeah.
And you expect that.
Yeah.
And then you tell women that they're not worth shit if they can't be your little maid for free like that. Like, why would you marry somebody? Why would you be with somebody who can't do that for you? Of course, those are very classed, racialized expectations because if you're a rich Dominican woman, nobody expects you to do that. Because you're going to have a poor black woman doing it for you.
A Haitian.
But the point is a woman who is poor is still going to be happy to do it.
Right.
Even if you're not the wife, Right. But it's like, that's how that's allotted. If you're poor and you're black, then that's the only value you have in life.
To be serviced, to be served.
Basically, yeah.
Dominican girls are fine.
Yes.
Let's just add that too.
Yes. There's no. I mean, they are a part of a long list of fine women.
King looks depressed.
Nah, it's just a lot of fuck shit, man. It's so much,
it is.
It's so much
fine though.
Yeah, of course, without a doubt. But like you said, like me personally, who. I don't want to sound disrespectful to the non-woke. But ultimately, it's certain shit that I don't care what you see on the surface. There's certain shit you're not tolerating.
You understand
as
too,
a human being, bro.
That treatment
ideology,
of women
philosophy
is also part of removing the blackness from a people. All right,
by design.
Well, the blackness. The woman, the value of the woman, the value of the being that has to carry the child, the value of the community unit. When you devalue the woman, that's when you're going with Western culture's values.
I mean, it is, honestly. When I do my talks, I always start off telling, like, on our island, like, machismo, if you talk now to Dominican men, they'll tell you that machismo is just biology. And it's in the blood and whatever the fuck. Like, that's just how it is. There's no other way.
Shout out to... Never mind.
But, like...
When I'm matching my clothes, I like to say I have machismo.
Pre-1492, like, on our island, there was gender equity. Women were caciques, which is like chiefs or whatever. When the Spaniards came, there was this one cacique who was like Anacaona, and she, pre-1492, was already a songwriter and a poet. and a chief. Like, listen to this. Pre-1492,
Right.
she was all of this shit.
She was a boss.
So the Spaniards come and, they start raping everybody because they were half naked, because we didn't do that. We weren't like, well, you're half naked, so we can't respect you.
Right.
It was like
a way of life.
everybody's walking around topless. Nobody gives a fuck.
Well, not just
It's hot. It's
right.
the fucking Caribbean.
Right.
So they brought over that rape culture, first of all. And then they were like, okay, so they gave her this option. They're like, okay, you're being rebellious and trying to like organize against us. So we're going to give you an option. Either you're going to be a slave wife to the Spaniard man, which is something that you've never had to do in your life before, or you can die. She chose death. They burned her at the stake. But basically, that's where that began. Because that wasn't the norm for women on that island before. After that, it was literally a matter of life or death. If you're not going to be a slave wife to that man, your ass is gonna die. And like now, it's like the normal and the culture and biology to be that kind of a slave wife or whatever. But it's like literally that was like violently enforced, and it was life or death. And I'm not saying that it's not still life or death, because Dominican Republic has one of the highest femicide rates in the world. So literally, that's when the femicide started. That's when killing women for not obeying you started on the island too.
Is femicide, is that homicide?
It's homicide of women specifically.
Okay.
It's homicide of women specifically.
Is
by
suicide
men
also
to
part of
love
that?
them.
Is suicide also included in the
In femicide?
statistics?
I mean, not necessarily.
So femicide so they're murdered by men who claim they love them for various reasons.
Yep, and it's always basically, lack of obedience.
Right.
There was one month where they killed like 37 Dominican women.
Jesus Christ.
That's a tiny ass island. How are you gonna kill 37 women?
Now,
in one month.
were any of those 37 trans women?
No, because they're not even counting those.
They're
But
not
you know
even,
it's happening.
There's no statistics on trans women?
No, but
so,
you know it's happening.
Internets, you have to watch this DJ Academics video where his leg is being touched by this rapper dude. Yo, he could have been femicided.
Damn. Wait, what?
DJ Academics could have been femicided.
But then you're so
based on that video.
But it's two men, boys, well, males.
So femicide.
I don't know.
Yep.
That
And
was
it's
a
always
big-
like,
that was legal in Brazil until.
I mean,
not
the
so long
truth
ago.
is it's still legal.
What do you mean legal? They just kill homegirl.
I mean, really, if every time they kill a Dominican woman and there's 37 killed per month, right? If every time they kill one, they're like, well, maybe she talked back to him. Well, maybe she cheated or something.
See?
And then that's it. It's justified.
But
it.
but
can do whatever
you just
want.
proven our point. That is Western
We
culture.
see that all the time. We see
Absolutely.
And that's Western
Colonized
culture's
fucking culture.
That's Western culture's
That's
direction.
not our nature,
No,
At
all.
They
Again,
really brought that shit.
Again,
That's normal now.
The respect for the strength of the woman is again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to destroy families.
Now it's like there's cases where like, Dominican women get their hands cut off by their man because they tried to wear a mini skirt.
No way. No, that's just. Did you
Right,
see
yes.
any handless Dominican women?
Literally.
Have you seen the picture?
Literally, yes.
Photoshop.
No.
I know they're getting their hands cut off in Africa. Don't tell me they're doing that now
They're
in this,
doing that
in
right
this
now in
hemisphere.
Dominican Republic.
Shit.
Right now in Dominican Republic, and my whole
You
thing
have
is
to
like,
show me that
okay,
image.
you don't
I
want
feel
a
like
woman
that's
who
Photoshop.
wears
But you know
a
what?
skirt, like you can like leave her.
DP.
You don't gotta cut her fucking hands off.
Both hands?
I've seen a lot of
Both
miniskirts
hands.
and both hands.
Like,
That must be like, like on some farm.
But is it out of the imagination that this happens all over the world without places that doesn't have a lens on them? Like, it's possible.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
But
yes.
how far
I agree
are the
that this happens in Africa.
patriarchal, madness? How far are they willing to go with this shit in terms of control?
All the way.
Human control.
All the
right?
way.
So
Read
it's
the
not
story
far.
about
Really
the
is
cave
what
where
it
they
is.
find the human bones. And the human bones are mixed in with animal bones, deer bones. It's not a ritual burial of the bones. It was shit got rough that winter. We had to eat somebody. We ate little Johnny because he was fucking the youngest, also the most tenderest. If we had to eat little Johnny, the next person we'd ate Uncle Jake. Why? Because Uncle Jake, I'm not carrying his ass in the spring. He's fucked up. Uncle Jake, we're about to eat you. Okay? You seen you ate Johnny, you know how it goes down. Oh, the springtime came.
Yo,
Now we can get back out of this fucking cave because somebody else was gonna have to be eaten.
We gotta start learning how to use every type of weapon, whether it's bow and arrow,
even the narratives
fucking
of cavemen.
machetes, guns.
Who made them narratives of cave people up? Fucking white people.
Well, I mean,
It was like they were beating women over the head and dragging them into a cave to rape them. I'm like, where is the proof of this shit? You literally made that shit up to make your colonization
Flintstones.
sound right. But like, literally is no scientific basis to any of that
to
shit.
justify
They were
Western
just
culture
like, well,
currently.
cavemen did it, so we
Yes.
just did it
Currently
because it's
beating up
natural.
women and dragging them behind the dumpster to,
Like, y'all ain't got no proof that
Yes.
shit ever happened. Stop.
Yes. And these things are not
You wasn't there.
sexual
Where was
crimes
the video
either.
camera to watch this
These are
shit
violent
happen?
crimes of
Where's
force
the evidence?
upon
Women.
yes.
And I read a New York Times story, and like, so I used to work for, I know, right? No, come on, cut it out. But no, this was, like, I'm from Chicago, so I didn't grow up in the Bronx, but I read this story, and it was pretty compelling about this bride. She was on her way to getting married. She was at the altar. This dude, this crazy ex of hers.
From the Bronx?
From the Bronx. He
Okay,
blew
just
her,
make it
killed
clear.
her. Killed this lady on her wedding day. They do a bride's march every year to show and like try to recognize and paint this picture because we don't think it's happening. Like as men, I put a tweet out. I said, I thought women a lot of times they can go out and be safe because I come from a family of strong women. They're not getting none of that stuff.
Nah,
pulled on
we
them, but
really can't.
But that's not the case. Like
No.
women out here really out here being victimized every day.
And you know what? It's not even a.
Crazy.
It's,
Like,
it
have you
happens
heard how
everywhere.
black women are getting shot and killed just for saying, like, not paying attention to some catcaller on the street? That shit been happening a lot lately.
I don't
Like, just because somebody catcalled you gonna kill them? Like, because they didn't pay attention to your
You're
ass?
gonna have to get more creative with the cat calls.
Yeah,
like-
I can't call older women just because of that.
No, seriously.
I don't want no.
It's like now we have to be scared that the next dude who's like,
Yeah.
psst, psst. If you don't fucking turn around
My grandfather
and humor
did.
his ass, maybe he'll
You gotta
shoot
get
you.
more clever.
Like, what the fuck?
Like, what would I say to you? What would be a
Does
cat
this
call?
year? Does that
Yeah.
work?
No.
Nah.
I don't think it
No.
works.
Does it
You
work
can't
like-
you can't cat. I don't believe in that. Like that's
and I
that's- to me,
don't believe
catcalling
those
is something-
murders.
One of y'all found your girlfriend
Like you just
via
got
catcalling
why
a
can't you
random
just
chick on
why
the
can't you
street.
just walk up to her and talk?
There have
a
been love
conversation.
connections.
Try to
No,
start
but honestly.
because most of the time we
Can
go.
you tell me from personal
yeah, but
experience that you have had an actual serious relationship with somebody that you catcalled on the street?
She was from Maxwell High School,
I won't say a cat call.
1993.
Okay.
It wasn't a cat call, but it was a random.
Was she a low
hello?
life?
Yeah, a random.
Nah. She was just an office girl in a pair of heels.
Went to Dewey.
Yeah.
Inviting.
Yeah.
You know,
Right, but
just
still, I just
working at
feel
9 to
like-
5.
True. Like.
Okay, no.
Describe.
No elbow was touched. No elbow was touched. Do you get upset when guys grab your elbow?
Touch the elbow.
You mean,
I don't know
like-
your
like-
ass
like
from a
this?
can of
Like-
paint. Why is you touching me?
Yeah.
Period. It's not even about it being a man. It's just anybody. Like,
You don't want people.
Yeah,
Like
know you.
have you ever been in a conversation with someone and they touch your elbow while you're talking
in
to
a
them?
conversation.
if I'm in a conversation and like I don't think you're an asshole, I probably won't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't even know your ass and you just bothering me on the
should.
street, like why is you touching me?
Yeah.
to King's point. So
Yeah.
if you're walking down the street and King just starts chasing you to talk to you, would you be cool with that?
Why are you chasing me?
Okay.
That's scary.
So cat call.
Yeah, but you gotta assume that
Those footsteps.
I don't know what you're
scare you.
doing.
you gotta. This is so.
If somebody started chasing
No.
you, wouldn't you be like, hold
Yes,
the
exactly.
fuck up?
I'd
But
rather
look,
they catcall.
But let me ask you something.
I can just keep on.
All right.
doing my thing.
More than likely, there's like
So
a good
catcall is
listen.
safe, my nigga.
There's good portion of men out there that believe that shit, right? That the same philosophy. So think about it. By the time you catcall her,
Okay.
right? You're
But
probably
creative-
number 147
No.
for the day.
At
What
least-
would
at
make you
least.
think you
Hey,
can
hold on a second. No, you
even
don't have
consider
to.
it. How
Ken,
can
you
you
don't
do-
have to explain that. Bad Dominicana can let us know.
many-
From the moment you walk out your door till when? Till you walk back in your
285
home, does it ever stop? Do you ever feel safe?
Hey, wow. If I'm gonna make you feel unsafe with a cat call, I won't do it. But it's a cat call when she walks by. That shit is hilarious. And she'll crack a smile, and we'll get to talk. Look at his face.
No one's doing that, man. She's gonna be like, what?
Exactly. When she's walking by, it's like,
I'm definitely not paying attention to any of the
fucking
285.
yeah, but that
people
one
who are
is
bothering
gonna
me
make you smile to yourself.
randomly.
On the way home, you give me that guy was an asshole, but that was funny.
But
I'm not gonna remember.
But you said it. But you said it earlier. You gotta be
you
clever.
didn't.
If you're gonna
I'm not
call,
gonna remember you.
there's ways to
When
do
you're
it.
walking by,
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers? That's no, I'm not gonna remember you. I'm gonna be like, these
Wait, if
motherfuckers
you-
get
okay.
weirder every motherfucking time.
Oh wait. Now, wait. If you see her, now let's say you see her a second time at a cafe, a coffee shop, and you do that. I think the second time you it may be like.
No.
the second time I see her,
Cause now she had
No, you ain't gonna do it again. You ain't gonna do it again.
Reference. She had a point of reference.
This is exactly.
Right.
Now, I'm that one guy that goes, as you walk by.
Big.
You're
every
exactly
time I
the person I'm avoiding.
Because when I see you in that cafe,
Oh, he's the guy that do fart sound like. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, do you remember the guy that did that? That guy was a fucking asshole. I saw that.
Yes, guy who does fart sounds. You are so interesting. I totally want to have
You
a
won't know it's me.
conversation.
I'll just be like,
with
you know what? I was there that day, and I had a talk with that guy.
What's the cat call on social media?
I don't do that.
No, I'm just saying. What would be equivalent?
I have no interest in communicating with.
That's the DM slide.
Right, but what is it?
I don't
People like
yeah,
9 pictures in a
screenshots,
row.
my friends.
Screen
Remember
what?
screenshots because you get to you're cute. You got a couple in you. You start fucking typing away, trying to be fucking Mr. Romantical. She's screenshotting and laughing with her friends. Know that.
She's
She's
keeping a record.
laughing at you. She's keeping a record of all your fucking.
Just in case you do
But
some.
we're laughing
Not
at
just
you
in
when
case.
you do that on the street too.
Nope. Not when I
Yes, we are. I guarantee you.
do. Your reaction is not laughter.
My
you know what?
reaction is
We're gonna have to-
thinking that you are a fucking weird ass motherfucker who I need to
Exactly.
avoid.
There you go.
Like
I'm
the
your
plague.
We're gonna have to do a case study.
I've done that.
Oh, we're gonna have to put
done
a
it already.
GoPro on Haitian Miguel
Listen, I've done the
and watch him walk down 6th Avenue
Listen,
of Americas.
There's a lot of young internets out there, my friends. Do me a favor. Try it out before you listen to
Listen, you call
Your
Jenkins,
own kid.
Jenkins and Jenkins LLC just in case.
He's like, don't judge before you done it.
Exactly.
You need to stand on the corner making fart sounds at women. Like-
Walk around.
No. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
No.
Listen, you walk past a pretty woman and then you make a fart sound.
Don't
That's
walk
all.
by you. She has to walk by you. Don't be silly.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be stupid thirsty.
Yeah.
Just be in the moment.
Yeah, and don't say anything. Just do the sound and let her keep
just
walking.
do the fart sound.
It's like the game. If she's already told
If
you
you're in
she's not
high
interested,
school,
bro,
do it in the hallway. Get yourself
keep it
suspended.
moving, bro.
Like I did.
Rules of engagement.
Keep it
Yeah,
moving,
man.
man.
Keep it moving, man. Don't do anything silly.
So I mean, you walk
Don't
out
do
of the
anything
house.
silly like doing a fart noise.
Nice and long.
I like that. That's your threshold for no. Like you support everything. Like you know.
That's the way we keep coming back
Who
to that.
said that?
thing
Who
she
said
hates.
that?
She despises so much,
You
right?
support the
I
downtrodden.
support anything except for the people who make the fart sounds on the corner.
But we're gonna keep coming back to that because I don't like it so much. Notice that? See that? Look at you. This guy's a
Only one way to find out. We got to do it.
This guy right here.
It's you. You the
Yeah.
fart. You the fart specialist. I don't do that, man. I'm looking
This-
for love, man.
Internets, listen. Comment
in all the wrong places.
All
comment.
the wrong place.
Please comment in the comment section of the post and let us know, if you were successful in your catcalling of fart sounds or whatever you like to do.
I stand.
Send Haitian
behind
Miguel shit emojis in his comment.
it.
All right.
But you smooth, man. You got it.
Okay. Yeah. Wham! Internets again. Thank you for spending time with us at Talkitecture. You can follow Bad Dominicana on Instagram, on Twitter, on Mi Gente. No?
Does that shit still exist? Yo?
Black Planet?
Yup.
No, me.
See,
It does, man.
the Dominican version of that was High Five.
Oh! No. We too old. We too old for high five. We too old for high five.
Y'all ain't have a high
Yo,
five.
I remember.
Nah, you
seeing that
couldn't
shit.
have high five.
Dominicans was that.
High five was around MySpace days.
I was on Black
Yeah, you couldn't have the high five ever let you be. I thought high five you had to be in high school.
No, I never did the. I never did that. I just used to see the ads.
Oh, okay.
on MySpace.
Oh, you use them on high five.
Yo, they need to bring back MySpace, man. Top 8. Remember the top 8? And
Yep.
If you wasn't in their top 8, you get mad.
I found my
Like,
fucking long lost sister on fucking high five, yo.
Dig it.
Them was the days.
Dig it. That's the internets.
Yep.
All right, that's when you still had that AOL diss. Making
broadband.
that nasty noise. That
ASL days.
all right, internet's the name of the podcast is called Talkitecture. A King, super producer. How you doing?
Yo, man, great episode. Bad Dominicana. I hope you can swing back through in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, just learned a lot and so much more to learn. And internets, we hope that we continue to educate, entertain, edutain, and all that good stuff. And be sure to rate, subscribe, and comment on the Talkitecture SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, all social medias. Let us know if you fuck with it. If you don't, it's all good. We'll holler back.
The Talkitecture podcast is a presentation of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to Combat Jack. Episodes are executive produced by A. King and Dallas Penn. All episodes are engineered superbly by Brother Christopher.